Hello, I'm Justin Noel. I'm a senior software architect here at ICS, and I'd like to tell you about a demo that we've been working on for the last year or so, going to different trade shows with the AGL group, Automotive Grade Linux. They're a project that is sponsored and hosted by the Linux Foundation, whose goal is to provide a library or collection of software, open source software, to enable developing products in the automotive space. AGL itself, from the user interface perspective, is both user interface and toolkit agnostic, meaning that the AGL system doesn't provide any particular user interface and tries to enforce as few requirements on any toolkit that you use, that you choose to use to get your application written. Last year at CES, the AGL group wanted a reference HMI implemented in the Flutter toolkit. The Flutter is a user interface toolkit from Google that is open source under the BSD license, which is one of the most open source licenses there is. We used a Flutter embedder, which enables Flutter to be used on the Wayland and Wayland IVI windowing systems from Toyota Connected, who's a member of AGL. And we were able to implement this entire user interface, including the home screen, HVAC controls, media, sensors, sort of the concept of an external application, in only 6 weeks. And one of the reasons we're able to do it so quickly is the design of the AGL project is very software defined. They have this data broker called Kuxa, which is a project from the Eclipse Foundation that is a publish-subscribe system. And on top of that, another standards body called Covesa has created the VSS, the Vehicle Signaling Schema, or specification, that defines basically what the data looks like to a car, such as what RPM, how fast you're going, how much fuel, whether the door locks are actuated. And you can talk to the Kuxa broker over gRPC to query the state of the door locks, find out if the child locks are activated, control the actuators to actually move the locks, all done with this basically abstract API through the broker. After we completed that work for AGL, we spent some time going to more trade shows such as Embedded World Nuremberg, Embedded World Austin, the Covesa show, and we extended the demo to further highlight some of the architectural benefits of using the Kuxa broker and these abstractions. This also maps very well to how ICS likes to design software for embedded devices that we make. So one of the first things we did was run it on more different types of hardware. Out of the box, AGL supported the Raspberry Pi and the Renaissance R-Car, and we ported it to run on this VeriSight IMX8 Dart and this Toradex Dahlia IMX8 MP. Then, to show off some of the toolkit agnostic features of AGL, we re-implemented the user interface, which you'll see here to the human eye simply looks like the same design but green and a different background. And it has feature parity with the Flutter version, except this is written in the Qt toolkit. And not only that, but the ICS designers who made this design, working with AGL and their product owners, used a collaborative design tool called Figma that's very popular. And ICS has a Figma code generator that reads Figma and generates basically Qt and QML code. So while this one here on the left is handwritten in Flutter, this one on the right is actually generated code where we're able to get a big head start by reading the Figma file and generating Qt and QML. We added a sort of cluster variant to this demo that shows basically, this is actually the same application as the big rectangular one, except it's reskinned with different graphics and different controls to show something that might look like one of the gauges in your cluster, showing a lot of information in a very compact way. This next bit here is a simulator that's basically driving the Kuxa broker with data, so all of the numbers here are in sync because they're talking to the same server. And we can do things like stop the simulation, move these by hand, and you can actually see the numbers change on the other machines. And hit play. And the last thing we have is a little diagnostic tool that we wrote ourselves. It's not the prettiest thing, but it's a data logger that's showing all the data coming in and out of the Kuxa server, so we can track traffic and other statistics. And this shows off the power of a distributed system where your user interface runs an entirely separate process, in this case, entirely separate container. And then that is bridged to the services that actually runs and talks to your hardware through this data broker. And you can have a very powerful and flexible design. We'll be further extending this demonstration. There's even things here that aren't hooked up in this particular line. At Embedded World Austin, we added Whisper AI integration and an LLM that you could chat with. And we'll be showing that off at trade shows in the future.